Today we're going to look at the Articles of Confederation, which was the first United States Constitution. The Articles of Confederation was the first United States Constitution. It was written during the American Revolution in order to provide guidance for the colonies during the war. It remained in place after independence was won. So again, the Articles of Confederation, first United States Constitution, and it was put in during the American Revolution. Article 3 from the Articles of Confederation stated, "The said states severally enter into a firm league of friendship with each other for their common defense, the security of their liberties, and their mutual and general welfare, binding themselves to assist each other against tax made against each other." It provided for a loose association of states. And what that means, and if you look at this picture right here, a loose association of states, the United States was united, but the states did pretty much whatever they wanted to do. Because of their experiences with the strong British government before and during the American Revolution, the framers of the Articles made the national government weak. The states retain more power than the federal government. So when you look at this picture, it shows you the powers of the states and the power of the national government. And the states, very muscular, very powerful. The national government, very weak and very puny, no muscles at all. There was only one branch of government. It was called the Confederation Congress. All states got one vote regardless of size. 9 of the 13 states had to vote yes to approve a law. 13 of the 13 states had to vote yes to change the Articles. So when the Confederation Congress voted, it took 9 of the 13 states to approve a law. But it took 13 of the 13 states to vote yes in order to change the Articles of Confederation, which made it almost impossible to change. The Articles of Confederation had many weaknesses. It had no executive branch or judicial branch. The executive branch is the one that carries out the laws, like our president. The judicial branch is the court system. So the only branch of government that was found in the Articles of Confederation is the legislative branch, which is the branch that makes the laws. The national government had no power to tax. They could only ask the states for money. Of course, the states refused, and because of this, the government had no money to pay its debts, which is money owed. So when you look at this picture, you see the national government right here, asking the states for money, and of course all the states with their hands up are saying, no, we're not going to give you any money. The national government had no way to regulate interstate trade. This is trade between states. This caused arguments and fighting between states, and the government couldn't do anything about it. So you look at this picture, see Maryland charging a toll to Pennsylvania to bring their products in. They're arguing with each other, and the national government, which you see right here, can't do anything about it. Each state could print its own money. The federal government had its money, and so did each state. This hurt the country economically. So under the Articles of Confederation, not only did the national government have its money, but so did the states like Connecticut, North Carolina, and Georgia, and New York. The national government could not require the states to send soldiers to serve in the national army. They could only ask the states. The states refused, and this left the country weak militarily. The weak government under the Articles of Confederation also caused foreign relation problems with France, Britain, and Spain. Now the term foreign relation means problems with other countries, and in this case, France, Britain, and Spain. France was angry because the U.S. owed them money from the American Revolution. Because the U.S. government could not tax to raise money, they could not pay back these loans. Because the U.S. owed Spain money and could not pay it back, it closed the port of New Orleans down and the Mississippi River to U.S. shipping. Again, this hurt the United States economically. So here's the city of New Orleans, and if you control New Orleans, you control the Mississippi River, which runs from the Gulf of Mexico all the way up to present-day Minnesota. And because they were still angry from losing the revolution, Britain refused to pull troops out of the western lands and closed its ports in the West Indies to American shipping. The United States government had no way to deal with these problems. One of the good things that came out of the Articles of Confederation was the Northwest Ordinance of 1787. This created an orderly system to bring in new states. In order to become a state, territories had to go through the following process. Congress appoints a governor. The population reaches 60,000. Then the state can write a constitution. And then Congress gives permission to become a state. The Northwest Ordinance of 1787 also created the Northwest Territories. The Northwest Territories consisted of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. So these territories made up the Northwest Territories. Now, one of the biggest things about the Northwest Ordinance was that slavery was not allowed in the Northwest Territories. In 1786, an event took place which showed how weak and effective the Articles of Confederation were. In western Massachusetts, farmers were losing their property because they could not pay loans back because the economy was so bad. Led by Daniel Shays, an American Revolutionary War veteran, a rebellion broke out. During Shay's rebellion, protesters shut down county courts in the later months of 1786 to stop judicial hearings for tax and debt collection. So what Shay's rebellion did is they closed the courts down, like you see in this picture right here, so the courts couldn't collect the debts that the farmers owed. By early 1787, the rebellion eventually fell apart. But because the United States government had no way of dealing with problems like this, it was obvious that the Articles of Confederation were not working. Okay, now let's review again real quick some of the problems of the Articles of Confederation. Here's a political cartoon showing the Articles of Confederation as a ship, and if you look at the title, it says rough sailing ahead, and then all these waves here are problems that the Articles of Confederation are encountering. No national court system, no power to enforce treaties, no power to enforce laws, no power to raise an army, and more importantly, no power to collect taxes. It was decided to hold a meeting in Philadelphia in May of 1787 to decide what to do about the Articles of Confederation. And the meeting place was going to be Independence Hall, where the Declaration of Independence was written.